Men have nothing to lose by admitting women are funny.
Funny comics like, like April and Marina Franklin and Jessica Curson and Schumer and Nikki Glazer, Mia Jackson. There's so many funny female comics, and one day hopefully we'll just be comedians and you know.
A lot of female comics out there, and I don't think a lot of them are on the club circuit the way they should be.
My first half an hour on Comedy Central, I think it was just me and Schumer, and now there'll be a couple more. It used to be they would say, if you went on a comedy club, oh, we just had a woman on, we can't put on another woman, as if it was redundant or something. We can't go vag, vag, but they go dick, 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 dick all night. I don't know, whatever.
I feel like when we started, we've been doing comedy for 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years. That was just normalized that you could just harass ladies.
And he was doing this song story about like how he lost his limbs and stuff like that. And then he went on to say like, and I just found
I'd
out.
go to the Comedy Store, and then Dave Taylor, who was like a wild piece of shit, would be like, you look like a painted whore tonight. And you're like, hey, thank you. I just want to do my 8 minutes. If I can just do my 8 minutes in the belly room.
I think today's woman, younger woman, they're not putting up with it. And I love that. Because I think it was normalized before with a male colleague somewhere. Is it really business, or do they have like some ulterior motive? And he's like, oh, you can't act like you didn't know what this was. I was like, I thought this was a business dinner, not for you to make out with me.
Thank you. We come from a different generation of women where we're like, yeah, it's kind of how it was. And I know the newer generation is like, that's disgusting. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And we're like, I guess we know that now. But back then, yikes.
So that's one difference. And then another thing I would say is security, like out on the road, making sure that the hotel is secure, that the club or the venue has security.
I mean, they'll just send any sex offender to pick us up at the airport. They sent this guy. This is the first thing he said to me. It's what he opened with. He was just like, you is the first Jewish that I'd ever met in my life, which I guess is better than being his last Jewish. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely, we're thinking more about just like how to not get killed. And guys are thinking about how much ass they can get after they kill.
Kansas City, Craig Glazier, when he was alive, every time I'd get there, he'd be like, hey, when are you going to let me pop you in the asshole? And you're like, hey, can I just do my week and get my check? That'd be nice. Be nice. And then he died.
Door, and it didn't work, and I was exhausted. So we had a nice chat, and he was like, oh, what's it like being, women on the road and alone, whatever. And I thought he was just innocent questions. But then, the next night he was banging on the door and rattling it. And thank God that the top lock thing was locked.
Yeah, there was like a comic in Canada who not only used to grab my ass a lot when we did shows together, but when he grabbed my ass, he would go, honk, honk. And he also died. So
He died?
I know, it's sad. And what's weird is when somebody sexually harasses you and then they pass away, you're still like,
It was sad.
I was
for
still
Craig
sad,
Glazier. I was sad
yeah.
for Craig Glazier.
I'm like, oh, that's sad. And then what are you going to say in the obituary? Like, R.I.P. Honk honk.
I can honestly say that the clubs are still giving almost the same guarantees that they used to offer to comics in 1994.
I mean, some gigs I was just being paid in like chicken fries. I was playing at a laundromat for a while. I remember one place tipped me in go-kart tickets. That was in Alabama somewhere. Yeah, I was just getting tips and free go-kart rides, which I wasn't particularly interested in. But I remember the mic went out like 9 times that week, and he kept reminding me that I could have an extra spin on the go-kart.
Yeah, sometimes with comedy bookers, I feel like they don't go, how much is Christina worth? They go, how much will Christina do it for?
Very early on, this guy took me in his his room to pay me. And he said, I heard Jewish girls give good head, which I've never heard that stereotype. I've heard that we phone it in.
What am I doing with my life?
Female comics generally make less than their male counterparts.
It's called My Parents Have No Retirement. Now I peddle t-shirts like a fucking gypsy. Because they didn't know how to save.
In recent times, more crazy things are happening to comics, male and female. I mean, we could talk about the Dave Chappelle incident or even Chris Rock getting slapped. Feels that people are emboldened to actually approach the stage. But I'm sure you've seen some of the, like I saw some gal, somebody threw a beer at her recently. And then one of my other clients, Tammy Pescatelli, someone threw a glass at her that shattered on the wall behind her. I mean, if it had hit her, she would have been severely injured.
This is a story that ended up going viral. So this is like 2013. This is how I got my big break in comedy.
Is it?
I was middling, as we call it in Canada. So like 20 minutes before the headliner. 5-10 minutes into my set tops. Show us your tits, show us your tits, show us your tits, show us your tits, show us your tits. They won't stop. Show us your bush, show us your bush, show us your bush, show us your bush, show us your bush. I don't know. I got through it. The rest of the weekend is great. The rest of the weekend, I kill. Cut to 5 minutes later, going back to play that club. I get an email from my agent. We have to pull you from Niagara Falls this weekend. And I go, why? And she goes, I think you bring an unruly crowd. And I was like, just to be clear, I'm getting fired because I got heckled. Show us your tits. Show us your bush. And I said something to that manager. And she goes, yep. And I go, well, I guess that's what I get for standing up for myself. Then I get a call from my boss at the comedy club, who owns all the clubs. And he's like, I can't have my clients using the internet like that and talking about my club. Why don't I write a blog explaining how it's not your fault, it's the casino's fault? And he goes, yeah, that's a great idea. He goes, write your little blog thingy. And then I wrote that blog. And by the end of the day, obviously, yeah, so that blog got like over 1 million hits. So he calls, he's livid, he's yelling at me. He's like, I don't care about comedians, I care about money. He's like, that club pays their bills on time. He gets his 3-year-old son. He's like, talk to Christina. Tell her we need to put food on the table. And I'm like, listen, like I might not have $1 million house, I might not have a spouse, and I don't have a kid, but I have a table, and I need to put food on mine too. I have not worked for that company or that man since that day.
So Lisa Lampanelli hosted the AVNs, and into her dressing room came a comedian by the name of Andy Dick. I knew that she wasn't going to want to have him in there before she's about to host a show. And it was on Showtime. So I nicely asked him if he could please leave. And he told me no, and that I was a cunt. And so I said, I don't think this is going to fly. And Pauly Shore's bodyguard was chasing Andy Dick around Lisa's dressing room, and he was yelling racial slurs at this gentleman. They finally got him. And the moral of the story is you can't call a woman the C word, even at the porn awards. You will be removed. I mean, that is harassment. You're calling someone a dirty, filthy name, and that's just not acceptable.